Let's delve into the fascinating world of Chris Voss. His career as a top-tier negotiator has seen him deal with high-stakes situations. And from these experiences, he's developed a unique and effective approach to negotiation. At the heart of his method are principles such as tactical empathy, mirroring, and labeling. Tactical empathy goes beyond simply understanding the other person's feelings. It's about using that understanding as a strategic tool to guide the negotiation towards a favorable outcome. Mirroring, on the other hand, involves repeating the last three or critical three words spoken by your counterpart. This technique, coupled with labeling, which involves identifying and naming the counterpart's emotions, fosters connection and encourages the other party to reveal more. As we delve into this, expect to see how these principles apply to all facets of life, not just high-stakes criminal situations. Now, imagine a bank full of hostages, a group of desperate criminals, and an FBI negotiator. We're diving into the world of Chris Voss, a former FBI lead international kidnapping negotiator. Voss has spent a career developing a unique approach to negotiation, one that places emotional intelligence at the forefront. Today, we are focusing on one of his core principles, tactical empathy. Picture this: the year is 1993, and the Chase Manhattan Bank is at the center of a high-stakes hostage situation. The criminals are desperate, the hostages are scared, and the negotiator, that's Voss, has to make a move. But instead of using force or intimidation, he uses understanding. This is where tactical empathy comes into play. It's not about simply understanding the other person's feelings. It's about strategically using that understanding to guide the negotiation towards a favorable outcome. In the case of the Chase Manhattan Bank, Voss applied tactical empathy to understand the kidnappers' desperation, their fears, and their motivations. He used mirroring, a technique where you repeat the last three words or the critical three words spoken by your counterpart. This technique is used to build connection and encourage the other party to open up more. He also used labeling, where he identified and named the kidnappers' emotions. These techniques fostered a connection with the kidnappers, allowing Voss to steer the conversation and negotiate a peaceful resolution. But the application of tactical empathy isn't limited to high-stakes criminal situations. It's a powerful tool in everyday business and personal interactions. Whether it's understanding a client's needs in a business meeting or navigating a difficult conversation with a friend, tactical empathy can enhance communication, empower you to subtly steer conversations, and lead to more productive outcomes. And that, my friends, is tactical empathy at work. When you understand the power of tactical empathy, you realize it's not about manipulation. It's about connection, understanding, and strategic communication. It's about turning a high-stakes situation into a conversation, and a conversation into a resolution. Tactical empathy is an art, and like any art, it requires practice. But once mastered, it can change the way you negotiate, communicate, and connect with the world. So, how do you get someone to open up, to trust you during a negotiation? This is a question that has puzzled many of us, but fear not, as Chris Voss, a master of negotiation, has some answers. Two of his key techniques are mirroring and labeling. Mirroring is the art of repeating the last three words or the critical three words spoken by your counterpart. It might sound simple, even a bit strange, but it's a technique that has been proven to foster connection. When you mirror someone's words, it shows them that you are listening, that you're engaged, and that you're attempting to understand their perspective. It's a subtle but powerful way to show empathy and build rapport. Let's look at a simple example. If someone says, "I'm feeling really stressed about this deadline," you could mirror by saying, "stressed about the deadline." By doing this, you're not only showing that you've heard them, but also encouraging them to elaborate, to share more about their feelings and concerns. Labeling, on the other hand, involves identifying and naming the counterpart's emotions. It's about taking that step further from mirroring, diving deeper into the emotional undercurrents of the conversation. If we go back to our previous example, after mirroring their statement, you could then label their emotion by saying, "It sounds like you're feeling overwhelmed." Labeling gives a name to their emotion, which not only validates their feelings, but also encourages further conversation. It's a way of saying, "I see you, I understand you, and I acknowledge how you're feeling." This can be incredibly powerful in a negotiation, as it helps to build trust and understanding. These techniques, mirroring and labeling, are not about manipulation. They're about connection, understanding, and empathy. They're about getting to the heart of what the other person is feeling and using that understanding to guide the conversation towards a favorable outcome. So next time you find yourself in a negotiation, whether it's in a high-stakes business deal or just trying to decide where to go for dinner, remember these techniques. Try mirroring the other person's words, label their emotions, and watch as the conversation unfolds in a more open, empathetic way. Seems simple, but the impact of these techniques is profound. Are all questions created equal in a negotiation? Absolutely not. In the dance of negotiation, the way we ask questions can determine the rhythm of the conversation. Chris Voss, a master in the art of negotiation, emphasizes the use of calibrated questions, those that begin with how and what. These questions are designed to elicit detailed responses, helping us to gather valuable information and gain a deeper understanding of the other party's perspective. Consider a business negotiation where you're trying to reach a consensus on a project deadline. Instead of asking, "Can you get this done by next week?" a yes or no question that doesn't leave much room for discussion, try asking, "What would it take to complete this project by next week?" This question invites the other party to share their thoughts and concerns, opening the door to a more collaborative and productive conversation. But while how and what questions can be powerful tools, Voss advises us to steer clear of why questions. In the heat of a negotiation, a question like "Why did you make that decision?" can come across as confrontational, even accusatory. It can put the other party on the defensive, creating a barrier to effective communication. Instead, we might ask, "What led you to make that decision?" This alternative invites explanation without implying judgment, fostering a more open and understanding dialogue. Paraphrasing, another key strategy in Voss's toolkit, can also enhance the negotiation process. By repeating the other side's points in our own words before presenting our own, we show that we're actively listening and seeking to understand their perspective. This simple act can build trust, deepen connection, and pave the way for constructive dialogue. In the realm of negotiation, asking the right questions is an art form. It's about more than just gathering information. It's about fostering understanding, building connection, and guiding the conversation towards a mutually beneficial outcome. Remember, the right question can open doors you didn't even know were there. What if I told you that no is more powerful than yes in a negotiation? It's a concept that flips traditional negotiation wisdom on its head, isn't it? But let's dive in. In the realm of negotiation, the term bending reality refers to the art of subtly steering the conversation to influence perceptions and outcomes. This doesn't mean manipulating or deceiving, but rather using a deep understanding of human psychology to create a favorable environment for negotiation. One of the most potent tools in this respect is the power of no. Now, no often gets a bad rap. It's seen as a door slammed in your face, a barrier to progress. But Chris Voss, former FBI negotiator, teaches us to see no in a new light. No is not a dead end, but a starting point. It's an invitation to understand the other party's concerns and objections. It's a chance to dig deeper, to ask calibrated questions that begin with how and what, and to use mirroring and labeling to foster connection. Consider a salary negotiation. When a prospective employer says no to your initial salary request, you could see it as a rejection, or you could see it as an opportunity to understand their budget constraints, their valuation of the role, and their expectations. This understanding then becomes a powerful tool to guide the negotiation to a mutually beneficial outcome. So, next time you hear a no, don't despair. You might just be on the brink of a breakthrough. Who knew that negotiating could be such an art, right? Chris Voss certainly did, and his masterclass provides invaluable insights into the world of negotiation, from tactical empathy to the power of no. It's a fascinating journey that takes us beyond the mundane, into a realm where language, emotion, and strategy intersect. So, are you ready to enhance your negotiation skills? If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to comment with your thoughts, subscribe to our channel and share this video with someone who might find it useful.